in Judaism, when it was said eye for eye, tooth for tooth, it was trying to communicate the proportionality of the response, of the reaction. That if somebody, under certain circumstances, steals something and is discovered, and then you come and cut both hands, now for the rest of the life, for that one mistake, he cannot, or he or she cannot now make the living at all. Now this type of, and then also to say that if you commit a mistake, then you would be committed to eternal damnation for, as a punishment for that, whatever that violation is. So not only that they themselves do, they present the God also so unreasonable that there are mistakes which will then damn you for eternity. And they don't see the reasonableness of it. How can any action in space and time cause the effect that's eternal? So the objective of that statement, tooth for tooth, eye for eye, wasn't go kill somebody because somebody killed you. It basically was saying, when you are living this life and you find something just or unjust, your responses should not become disproportionate. Don't get carried away. And they didn't interpret it that way. If you have killed, we are going to kill you. Well, fine, now you have killed him, now that somebody will come and say, well, since you killed him, I'm going to kill him. Where would it stop? If you take that to a logical conclusion, I kill your relative and then you kill my relative, and that relative then comes back and say, now I'm going to take care of it, because, right? He's not going to think about I did you.
Yeah.
He's going to think about this, right?
It's not only in the Muslims, even in the Rajasthani, Thakurs and...
No, but that's what... No, it's not only the Islam. I'm talking that in Judaism, that's where this came from.
I see.
Tooth for tooth, eye for eye statement came from Judaism. And Christianity adopted it. And Islam implemented it to the extreme.
Christianity adopted it? Christianity also?
Yeah, Christianity also has the same. All of the crusades, where after the Roman Empire went down, Christianity absolutely lost control of itself. And the wars and the blood that was shed is absolutely mind-boggling. When you read that history, all in the name of that same God. And most of these wars were between the either you can call them pagans or you can call them Muslims. They both called each other infidels, non-believers. But they killed each other mercilessly.
I was talking to a bomber pilot who just came back from Iraq. And he said, yes, they do that over there, but he said there is no crime there at all because the punishment is so severe.
Absolute a myth.
No, he lived there, so he said because of that.
The crime is not advertised. That I can accept. The fact that you are not caught, or if you are caught, it is a hush-hush.
Yes.
Right? Think about, we are parents. If our child in that society is caught in any infraction that they call infraction, what do you think we are going to be talking about it? We'll pack up if the society, the neighborhood cannot deal with it, we'll pack up and go somewhere else. So those things are not advertised. This society is far more enjoy the salaciousness of the events. So the tabloid do that all the time. I mean, look at what's happening in India right now. 7 states out of the 18 or 20, depending how you count it, which are suffering maximum from AIDS epidemic, they have banned every kind of sex education. They are blaming, and the suffering is between 15 to 29. That's the age group. Majority female. Now, are we going to sit here and convince somebody that Indian society is so conservative that the sex education offends their sensitivity when their own children, unmarried children, are proof that the population per capita highest in the world is in those 7 states? And their reaction? Because you are teaching about the sex education, you are encouraging the promiscuity. So what are you going to do instead? Teach them meditation. You teach meditation to a 19-year-old who's horny? What's the matter with you? When there was no education, this happened, and now they have banned everything. No curriculum. And the world is going nuts. Look what they are doing. They are doing exactly the opposite of what they should have agreed upon, that give us the aid and we would actually spread the education and we'll tell them what the precautions should be, etc., etc. So I say no, we don't even want to talk about it. And I immediately, when I read that, I said, now that's an example that I shared with you, that little child playing with the caterpillar, and he wants to see the butterfly. Remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You don't remember the story?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
One night. Yeah, I must read that one.
a little child wants to catch a butterfly. And the father told him that the butterfly comes out of the caterpillar. So he's watching a caterpillar, and he sees that there is a silk fiber around him.
Cocoon.
That's the cocoon. So now the caterpillar has a very small hole, and he sees a little couple of hair coming out, and he sees that the caterpillar shrinks his body and then comes strongly and hammers to expand the cocoon's hole so that it can come out of it. So the child watches it, that it does a couple of times. He can't get out because it's strong, so he says, I can't wait any longer. So he goes inside, get a scissor and cut the cocoon. So now the caterpillar, his body all soggy and gooey and all that, and he thinks, oh, it's all wet, it will dry up. So he takes the caterpillar and put it in the sun so it dries out. But the caterpillar is rolling on the cement and can't do anything, and so the child is sitting all day waiting for it to dry up and become a butterfly so that he can catch. But it doesn't happen, he dies. In the evening, the father comes in, the child is sitting very sad. And what happened? He gives the story and says, son, that's not just your problem, that's the story of mankind. That's a sign of ignorance. What you did not know, that the caterpillar, when as it was hitting with the head, with every stroke, he was squeezing his body fluid, which would have spread into the wing. The fluid in the wing is that fluid which is actually in the body. So squeezing through the small orifice actually is his birth pang. You thought you were releasing the birth pang, but what you did, you took away the process which would have made the wings. And he died. how we think we are doing such a righteous and holy thing, and how much damage we do to the consciousness. And that's what is happening in the example that Sarina was discussing. Whether it's Islam, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Judaism, whether it's Sikhism, whether it's Hinduism, doesn't matter. All of these so-called systems evolved thinking that we are doing a very good thing. Let's make it simple. But by making it simple, they literally kill the butterfly, because that little difficulty was required for you to go through so that you could see the actual process. Going through that difficulty was strengthening the inner growth process. So those who came and said, don't do this, that's too difficult, do this. Just sit down and burn this incense and do twice this way and thrice that way, and that should do it. And then the people do that all life believing something's going to happen. At the end of the life they wonder, what happened? Well, so and so could not have lied to us. He was so holy. Well, he didn't lie. He just shared his ignorance with you. Because if you are smart, you would have asked that individual, how come you are not there? The Shangri-La that you are promising us, have you put this system into practice yourself? What is the proof? You are propagating this. How do you know it will work? Which is the same story I go through with everyone who says, I am not sharing with you something that I have not tried with my own life. I have gone through this. That sincerity is what you see come out. So, all these people who are taking and saying, well, this is what he meant and this is what he did, and they are doing so holy thing, that they are taking a certain percentage of impressionable youth and giving them these belief systems, and they are blowing themselves up and they are blowing everything around themselves with the belief. They just made a documentary on the some of the events they put together about the lives of those 9/11 hijackers, in which they are literally getting up and telling each other, I dreamt that I went to heaven and on the gate the virgins greeted me, and they literally are sharing their dreams with each other.
The mind can play tricks.
The power of the suggestion to the mind.
Right.
And they are leaving this dreary world behind in the hope of something so pure and holy. So it's a very dangerous game. That's why when Buddha was asked, is there any sin greater than killing somebody? And his answer was very profound. He said the greatest sin on this earth is to put somebody on a wrong path in the name of spirituality. Because if you kill somebody, you have destroyed just one life.
And only the body.
And if you put somebody on a different cycle, you have no idea how many cycles he will keep on repeating the same mistake. How many lives he would have destroyed. It is the greatest sin. And we see that sin being committed every day. And the tragedy is that we know it. We hear it. Yet we walk away from it.
Isn't that happening in a lot of religions?
Everywhere.
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 That's what I thought.
Everywhere. Okay. Let's get back into our lesson of the week. So last time when we got together, the message was Kathane Kehan na chutiye na pad pustak bhar. The message was that just talking about collecting the knowledge, collecting the information is not going to free you from the bondage of the cycle. Na chutiye. You're not going to free yourself. How? Kathane Kehan. To explain, to hear, to talk, to discuss, to exchange ideas, that in itself is not the solution to the ultimate problem. Kaya soch na paye. Just by purifying the body in whichever way you think it is getting purified, whether you are washing it or whether you are decorating it, whatever you're doing. Soch means that cleanliness, pavitrata, suchita. It's not going to do that. What is required then? Bin har bhagata pyar. You need the meditation. You need that true love for him. And how do you get that love? Nanak naam na visray. That's the requirement. It has to become so much part of your existence that you not forget it even for a fraction of a moment. It should become part of you so much. And the only analogy for that is just as breathing is part of you. You can forget eating for a while, you can forget sleeping for a while, you can forget all those things, but you can't forget breathing ever. It's on such an autopilot. You need to bring that concentration, that memory to that common denominator. You know, as they say, lowest denominator. What's the lowest denominator here? That memory, that thought, that concentration has to become part, like your breathing is part of you. So, how do you then proceed on that path? And that's the next hymn. It says, Satgur Pura Je Mile Paye Ratan Bichar. This is how this process takes so. And the key word is Pura. The complete, the guide, the teacher, the master, the Satgur, Gur, whatever word you want to use it. It has a qualifier, which is Pura. Pura means the one who's complete. One who has done it, gone it, seen it, and is already there. Those are the only type who have no other motivation left, no other desire left, no other requirement left, except to tell you this is how they did it. If you want it, you can do it. Would you teach me? There's nothing to teach you. Here's the process. Would you be my master? Would you be my guru? There's no need to be guru. Here is the process. Take the process, go do it. Can I come back to you if I run into difficulty? Of course. Can I seek any clarification from you if I run into difficulty? Positively. But they would not entrap you into saying, I am following so and so. They would discourage you even saying to anybody, so and so is my master. I'm the disciple of so and so. And in Sikhism, this was demonstrated without any doubt left for anybody. That every soul which evolved to the highest level did not look back on the soul from where they got that and call them guru. They did not call them masters. Because master and disciple is a division. It's a judgment call. High and low. Better and good. Those are labels. If there are labels, that means you have not achieved anything yet. In the world of spirituality, labels have no meaning. Guru and Sikh, for a Brahmgyani, both are the same. It's a very profound. We have so much desire, so much urge in distinguishing. Isn't it? We want to describe ourselves. We want to distinguish ourselves. I have achieved this much. I have done so much. But I come from there. I come from this background. But I have these goals. I'm going there. Every which way there is a inner urge from in all of us to say, but listen to me, I am different. Isn't it? We get trapped by it. Because the mind says, well, come on, this one, what are you talking about? If we were to tell anybody that come every Friday, shouldn't we tell them that we are different? What a trap. And the answer is no, we are not different. There is a way of looking at the life, looking at the journey. If somebody wants another version of it, another flavor of it, they can see these are all variations. Right? God does not say that the red color is better than the blue color. Does he?
But it is.
And therein lies the trap. Therein lies the label.
She heard it from him.
Yeah. And that is the exasperation of the mind. She is absolutely right. But it is. How should I tell it is blue and not red? It is red and not blue. Yes, it is. We gave a name to it called red, and we gave a name to that, it's blue. But it is just another variation of the color. It just is a different frequency of the energy. That's all. There is no other label. All then labels will be red is supposed to be good and blue is supposed to be bad, or vice versa. And we say, well, no, but come on, this one. The blue is more pleasant to the eyes and the red is more sharp to the eyes. No, that's not true. There are people who will say red is more appealing. It's more shining out. It's more projecting. In today's social circles, they call red to be the color of power.
Passion.
And all these are what a brahmachari will tell you, a brahmgyani will tell you, that these are the creation of a human mind. Because they are the creation of human mind, don't take them as absolutely true and correct. So, Satgur Pura, see, that's why these words are very, very profound. They are put in there for a purpose. We have this very common word in Sikh. Where are you going today? I am going to the airport. Why? Sadhguru is coming. Oh? There is always is one Sadhguru or the other landing on the airport. And the people are lining up with limos because they are going to see the Sadguru. If it is a Sadguru, he or she will be embarrassed by that type of a show. But it's a beautiful metaphor about it. Two friends were grown together, studied together. One ended up being the king of an area, and the other ended up being a very renowned saint or a mystic, whatever you want to call it. It so happened that by chance, perchance, the mystic was with all his disciples were passing through the area, and one of the disciples said, "Do you know who rules this area?" He said, "No, I don't." "Well, this is your class fellow, actually." "Oh, so and so?" "Yeah, well, if we are passing by, we should say hello to him." It's okay. So they sent the message to the king that your childhood friend wants to meet you. And he felt very good also, so he said, "Okay, clean up the areas, and my childhood friend is coming and I want to receive him properly." So as he started walking, and he see there is decorations and all his kingdom is lighted very well, and the people are showing him a lot of respect, and he turns around to that disciple and he says, "Well, it looks like he is trying to show us his kingdom. If he is trying to show his riches to us, we should show him our asceticness to him." So, as he enters the door, his whole body is full with dirt and mud and all that, and it's completely dirty, and he just looks at the king looks at him, and he doesn't worry about it. He calls him in and asks him to sit by his side, and he couldn't stop himself. He said, "Well, I thought I cleaned my area in your honor. How did you get so dirty?" "Well, since you are so proud of your being rich, I thought I should show you how proud I am of my being poor."
Same caliber.
And the king got up from his throne and said, "Come on, then hug me. Neither you have gone anywhere nor I have gone anywhere.
Beautiful, very beautiful.
You haven't achieved anything. Your ego is just as dirty as mine is. You are right, I was trying to impress you. But by reading that, your reaction wasn't of a saint. Your reaction is also of the same type of egotistical child. So neither you have achieved anything nor I have achieved anything." Satgur Pura. That is the definition of Satgur. He is complete. There is no ripple effect in his consciousness which will reflect on his incompleteness. There will be no desire, there will be no showmanship, positively or negatively. I have seen people's false humility. People will come, they would want to give some money. "I don't touch the money, keep it away." "Can I put it under the carpet?" "Yeah, that's fine, put it there." "I don't touch it."
Then he's going to count it.
"But leave it there, somebody will count it." What a game we are playing with each other. And Gurbani highlights that in the very first statement. It tells you that Nanak naam na visare mele gur kartar. If you are going to get to that stage, then understand that message that you're going to receive should come from Sadgur Pura Je Mile. If you get to that type of a entity, what will you get? Paye Ratan Bichar. What a metaphor. Ratan literally means a diamond. Ratan actually is a more expensive word. I don't know if there is a higher word in English than diamond, which is more expensive. A ruby or whatever, I don't know.
Platinum.
Are there. But Ratan is considered in our language the highest caliber of stone. That there is no gem, there is no more than that. Now, why is that metaphor so important? Why gem? Think about it. Knowledge is light, right? The ignorance is darkness, right? Every source of light that humanity knows has its own shadow, right? The lamp spreads the light out. What's happening down at the bottom? There's a shadow, isn't it? And we have a quotation, Diye tale andhera, Chirag tale andhera. Means the lamp can give the light outside, but under there will always be darkness. So that means that is not a true knowledge. Cannot be of the type where there is only one-sided light and the other sided is darkness. But if you take a gem and put it on the table, you will find that its light is reflected in all 360-degree directions. There is no shadow. A diamond, a true cut diamond, a true gem would not have a shadow. That's why mystical knowledge will always be compared with the light reflected in a gem. Not with a sun, not with the moon, not with a lamp. It's not compared with anything. Always with a gem. Because gem has no shadow of itself. Make sense? Just that thought, Paye Ratan Bichar. The thought, the knowledge is like a gem, which is so complete that it does not even have its own shadow. It's light, pure light, through and through. Where does it come from? Not the one who's interested in your dollar. It comes from the one who's not interested in you at all. He or she doesn't care what you do or not do. You showed an inquiry, an inquisitiveness. You will be given that without any condition, without any requirement. You will be gone. You will be gone. That's it. Very difficult to find. So then what should we do? If we don't find, what should we do? And that's a constant thing nagging. I get this call almost every week. You keep on talking of this, but where should we go to find a Sadguru and who should give us the true word? And I simply smile. And I say, have that word not been already given to you? Is that word not already given to you? What is this? Is this not already a word? Is this not already complete? Is it asking anything from you? Is it mandating anything on you?
But
why are you falling the trap?
They're misinterpreting it though.
No, they want this to be said as if somebody should come. I am Guru Gobind Singh and I am telling you this. Then they will say, Because human like me is reading it and saying, here is it, take the interpretation and go use it. Well, wait, I need to find the Sadguru.
I am listening to this because you are telling. So,
But I would back to you and say, if this had taken a root in your heart the way it is supposed to, there would be no more need for you to search anything, go anywhere, do anything other than to implement it in your life. That would be it. All journey, all search, all inquisitiveness, all queries, all questions will simply drop. You just implement it. You have gotten the purest of the pure thought. You have been shown the highest possible potential that you carry within you. Every human entity is pregnant with that seed. We just don't nurture it. Hence we are never really able to feel the growth. Why it's not? Because we are still waiting that magic to be done by some mystic saint with a long beard and white robe and all that. The pseudo images that we have in our mind. That archetype images, we still carry them. Half of the humanity still believes that there is some deity or whatever shape, form it is, sitting out there with a notebook and making records of everybody and punishing and rewarding the people and getting offended or getting happy. Yeah.
Are there Akashic records? Are there Akashic records that are kept?
The Akashic records, as they are called, they are within you. That is what we have talked about, the astral existence of every human. That is the Akashic record. Your record is with you.
Then how come we say अच्छे कर्म करो बुरे कर्म नहीं करो?
I do that,
Well, we talked about that. No? Achhe karam karo, so that the positive energy builds so much that you carry the positive memory forward. That's all there is to it. Whereas this is saying, forget the achhe karam, forget the good deed, bad deed, just think of a deed. Only one, which is completely neutral, which basically helps you to drop the bondage of life and death. So we have talked about it, that every other religion tells you to become a good human, that's all. And when they define the good human, they are the good quality in animals. To be faithful to somebody is to be a good dog. To be hardworking, to be a horse. To be fearless is to be a tiger. To not to lie, not to steal, not to cheat is to join the bird and animal kingdom. And the Gurbani is saying, stop. Think. That's what is the word bichar. Ratan means light. Bichar means think. What is being given to you? When somebody tells you, you go to any so-called preacher and say, always speak the truth, don't cheat anybody, don't lie to anybody, and forgive your enemies. That's what was the basic Judaism prior to Christianity was propagating, an eye for an eye. And then Jesus came and said, hold, forgive your enemies, turn the other cheek. Treat others as you wanted to be treated yourself. He turned the image upside down. Why was he doing that? Was trying to raise that level of consciousness. We are now sitting 2000 years afterwards, and Gurbani has said that we are not going to play any games with you anymore. We're not going to lie to you. You fully understand that. You have evolved enough. You have read, grown up enough. Here is the real truth. The human body was not put on this earth to become a good animal. Human body was put here to become God-like. And the potential was given to you. And the process, there have been gazillion of processes. Pick one that suits you. And start moving. Who will say that to you? Who will remind that to you? Satgur pura je mile, paye ratan bichar. Here is the litmus test. Are you in the right place or not? You will get the thought like gem, where there is no shadow even. And what would that bichar be? Man dije gore apne paye sarab pyar. How you will get it? Just taking your body over there is not going to work. Which is what we do every Friday, every Sunday, don't we? We go to the churches, the masjids, the gurdwaras, the temples, and we take our body there, don't we? But what is happening to the mind? Whatever we took, we came back with the same home. Maybe with a little bit more information. Today he told a beautiful story. A padre built a new church in an area, and our very first congregation, he told a beautiful story of Jesus' life. Everybody was so happy. This priest is really good. They went the next Sunday, he repeated the same story. And some new people had come and they said, yeah, we like that. So, that's really is a good message. And the third Sunday, he repeated the same story again. Slowly, every Sunday he repeats the same story. Congregation started reducing. The management of the church came to him and said, we thought you were going to increase the congregation. You started good, but don't you know anything else other than just one story? We think we're going to have to let you go. And he said, okay, let me go. Give me one more chance and I will say goodbye to the congregation and send the message out that you're going to change the priest and they should come to say goodbye. Okay, so the church hall filled again. So this time, he told a second story. Everybody liked the second story. Now they are all surprised. They say, wait a minute. If you knew other things, why were you repeating the first one? I said, well, I was repeating because every time you came back, I saw exactly the same behavior. So I thought that the message has not gotten across, so let me repeat. If you haven't learned the message and implement what I said for the first time, I thought I need to keep on repeating till you get it. Otherwise, it just become entertainment. Isn't it that what's happening to us?
How did he know they didn't get the message? They just come, sit there and listen.
Behavior of the people. They bring the body, but the mind remains the same. The behavior remains the same. How they interact with each other remains the same. He's living in the same city, same village, same area. He knows what's going on in the village. Is there any improvement in the neighborhood of any kind? If there is no change, why talk of religion and why talk of spirituality and mysticism if there is no change in life? That is why the quotation that I like the most and from that part of the world is, every year, if somebody asks you, are you alive? Look inside. Have you dropped something that you wanted to change and picked up something that you want to add, at least over a period of 1 year? If you have, you are alive. If you haven't, check your pulse, you may be dead. That is the message here. Man dijiye gure apne. The game is of the mind, the thought processes, the quality of looking at the life, living the life. It has to do with the mind. Man dijiye, not tan. It's not the subject of the body. It's the subject of bichar, the thought. Has it changed? Has it been influenced? Has that thought gone deeper? And have you then internalized that? And slowly, you will see the shift in your own consciousness. You'll see slowly, the thing changes. The people around will tell you, last time I met you, there is something different about you. You'll see that. And that's what it's saying. Man dijiye gure apne paye sarb pyar. Then you get the love of the ultimate. Mukt padarth paye avgan metan har. That is the true mukti. Means what? Transcendence of the life and death cycle. That's mukti. Bhai re, gur bin gyan na hoye. Understand that you need the true message. If the message is not true, there's going to be damage done to the consciousness, which is what we observe around the globe. More damage to the consciousness in the name of religion than in the name of politics, than in the name of sexuality. It is the religion that does the most damage, because it presents falsehood as the ultimate truth. And we as individuals who have been given the discerning intellect, we don't want to exercise it. It's easy way out. We just accept. Okay, he has done it. He is not going to lie to me. Just accept it. This is his job, right? And we all the time says, well, priest's job is to study and tell us. That's why we hired him. We pay his weekly and monthly salary, so he should be telling us the truth. Well, yeah. What you are doing is trying to buy the truth. And truth can never be purchased. Bhakt Kabir says, truth is like a grain of sugar scattered in the desert, sand of the desert. Kabira, har hai khand, ret mein bikhri. Look at the metaphor. Right? So, kernel of truths scattered around the sand of the desert. So obviously, who are you going to pay? How are you going to buy that? You need that kernel of truth. So you're going to have to pick it. You're going to have to find it from that sand. And so then he says, well, I see the people trying to get that kernel of truth. How do they do it? And he compares the human mind and intellect with Hasti chuni na jaye. Hasti means an elephant. Say, I see an elephant with his tusk is trying to breathe the... So what's going to happen? All he's going to get lots of sand. Now the human mind says, wait a minute, you just said it is scattered, I need that, what should I do? And look at the next line. Kaho kabir gur bhali dikhai, chinti hoye ke khai. He says, I asked my master, how do you pick the kernel of truth from that sand? He says, well, forget being an elephant. Become a little ant. An ant can literally separate the grain of sand this way and pick that one grain that she needs. What does that mean? What's the metaphor? Arrogance and ego represented by the elephant. Humility and egolessness, smallness, represented by the little ant. When you become humble, when you surrender your own information collected over the years of journey around the globe.
That also mean like being selective, choose selectively.
Yeah. But then you have to have the tools to select. Right? I mean, you are selective, you are not picking the grain of the sand. That's true. But if you have a tongue, you are still not going to be able to pick that. You still are going to have to get in size to the level of that little ant which can just pick that one grain. So just having the desire is not enough. You have to develop the tool, which is what the meditation does. It breaks the arrogance of the mind, makes it focus, makes it humble. That's when it starts seeing those truths. And that's what is being said here. मन दीजे गुरे आपने पाइये सर्ब प्यार मुक्त पदार्थ पाइये अवगण मेटन हार भाई रे गुर बिन ज्ञान न होए. It's not going to happen without that kernel of the truth being given to you in its purest form. If you fall in the trap of just collecting information, what happened? Pucho brahme narde bed bease koe. So go find it in the Vedas. Go find anywhere, in any literature. All you will collect is lot more information. What would that information do? You'll become more egotistical. Now you will have the idea, earlier I only had read one Veda, now I know all four of them. Imagine the arrogance. Hey, how many you have read? I have read 4. What do you know? In this very congregation, we actually had that. In one of our meetings, one of the person present literally asked, have you really read Vedas? Just want you are talking about Vedas. I have read. Have you read it? No, I don't know. It's Sanskrit. I have no idea. Then how come you are already talking about it? You have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't. Well, I'm willing to debate with you. I said, no, I'm sorry. I have no time, energy or anything for debating. I have no such desire to prove myself right to somebody. That's why this group, when it started, it was quite large. Slowly started shrinking. That's just information. Information doesn't get you across. ज्ञान ध्यान धुन जानिए अकथ कहावै सोए सफलेओ ब्रिख हरियावला छाव घनेरी होए लाल जवेहर मानकी गुर भंडारे सोए. It's now describing the process. It's saying Gyan means the information. Once you get the information, what do you do with that? Say Dhyan. You put it into practice. You meditate on it. And what will happen then? Say there will be a sound from within. Soundless sound. Anhadanad. Gyan, Dhyan. What will happen? Dhun janiye. Suddenly, inner wakes up. And the things that you were always hazy about, they suddenly start becoming clearer. Ah, I was thinking about that. Oh, this is what it was. You literally start laughing sitting by yourself. Oh, childish I was staring me in the face. And I kept on looking away from it. Because what is happening? You say, akat kahave soe. That which cannot be said or explained or interpreted, suddenly you find the words to say it. Isn't that? I mean, how many times we have talked about this, right? Yeah, we read it, we understand it, but if somebody says it, I can't explain it. No. If you actually have gone on that path, suddenly that energy starts flowing through you. And you wonder where these words came from, where this metaphor came from, where these thoughts came from, where these examples came from. You yourself surprise yourself. Oh, this is what it was? Yeah. That's when you can say, hey, I haven't read it anywhere. I cannot give you the proof. I don't know. It just is. Accept it or not accept it. It's your call. Because I should get insulted only if I said something and you called me a liar. Right? Then you are insulting me, my existence, my being. But I never said it. It isn't mine. It just so happens. It is just a drama that you somehow that we cannot detach from the words and say, yeah, but you are saying it. No, I'm not. That's the explanation going on right here. Gyan, dhyan, dun janiye, akat. Something that cannot be said. Kahave soe. He gives you the energy. He gives you the words. He gives you the explanations. It suddenly starts becoming clearer. Safaleo birkharyavala sham ghaneri hoye. Lal jawahar manki gur bhandare soy. So when, just as a tree, when it grows up and spreads its branches, and the shade can be enjoyed by lots and lots of others, beings, same way you find that when such a energy wakes up, lot more people start enjoying it, start taking advantage of it. Lal Javeri Manaki. It is so valuable or invaluable that you cannot put the price on it. गुरपंड हारे भाइये निर्मल नाम प्यार साचो वखर सचिए गुर कर्म पूरे कर्म पार सुखदाता सुख मेटनो सदगुर असर संघार. It is the energy from that source. Pandhara literally means the treasure. It's literally is a treasure, which is absolutely of the nature which can never get empty, which can never be spent. What does that mean? That energy, that wisdom, that light is absolutely inexhaustible energy that is coming from the source. Gurbandhare Paye, which energy is that? Nirmal Naam Pyar. The love for the meditation, love for that word, love for the process, the journey going on. When Meera sings, Re Main To Prem Diwani, right? I mean, here is a lady in Indian culture in the medieval times, not even in the modern era, in one of the most conservative area of Rajasthan, and she is scantily dressed, has no clue, has just one instrument in her hand, single wire instrument, and she's plucking that single wire, iktara, and she's singing. What? Main To Prem Diwani. That's it. I am in love with Krishna, and nobody understands it. Nobody is going to understand it. I don't care. What I am feeling, what I am experiencing will be known only to those who become like me. Eri main to preet devani, mera dard na jaane koi. Nobody knows this. And they ask what's wrong with you and say, well, how can I tell you? You are not going to understand. Now explain us, don't insult our intelligence. We can understand. He said, no, you can't. I'm not going to waste my time with you. Because if you did understand, you won't ask the question. You would know it. Isn't it? A mother who has given the birth to a child, does she need to explain when she watches another lady giving a birth? Does she not already know? And when the one who's going through the process is saying, get rid of this, or do this, or do that, what do the ladies say? Hold on. Everybody goes through this. We understand what you're going through it. Been there, done that. No, I'm going to die. No, you're not going to die. It is that. When the thing comes out of experience, there are no questions to ask. And when you don't have the experience, only thing remains is a question. Can you explain this? Can you explain that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And Gurbani says, once you get that, Guru Pandhare Bhaiye Nirmal Naam Pyar, once you get that, Sacho Vakhar Sanchiye Pure Karma Par, then you do not focus on anything else. Then you are only focused on the truth. Sacho Karma Sanchiye. Sukhdata Dukh Metinu Sadgur Asar Sanghar. Now to the outsider, you will appear as of suffering. Right? I mean, they would want to sing, dance, eat, drink, laugh, cut jokes, right? They do all those things. To them, that is what the enjoyment is. What is that enjoyment to you? No, it's not. They'll say, look, what a waste of life. And you would inside be sitting so peaceful, quiet and blissful inside. Fine, just leave me alone. I understand that. Why? Because that sukh has a totally different quality. Sukh data, dukh metano. It isn't the kind of sukha that the world is known. It's not the kind of pleasantness. It is that inner peace. That has a totally different quality. Only the one who's going through the process, they knows it. The other one, can say, what's the matter with this guy? Come on, let's go. Do something. Be something. The whole quality changes. Bhavajal Bikhm Daramano, na Kandhi na Par, na Bedi na Tulahara, na Tis Manj Malhar, Sadguru Peka, Bautha, Nadri Par Utar. This is what is hidden from everybody's vision. Which is what? Bhavajala Bhikamu Dharamano. He's saying that this journey of life is visible to everybody. Hence they can make judgments. But the journey which is crossing this dimension to the other dimension is completely invisible. There has been no example in the consciousness of mankind that somebody went there and came back and said, let me explain it to you. There has been nobody who is actually going through it and can say, this is what I'm going through. That is the mystery. So if you have not prepared for that, one of the mystical reason of everybody being afraid of death not having lived the life that was envisioned to be. We become like a little first grade, second grade student who got his summer holidays and played all summer. And the teacher had given some homework to be done during that time. And now the school is opening again. And that day is here. And the first question that teacher is going to ask, where's the homework? And I haven't done a thing. I have been playing all summer. Now, suddenly I'm going to fall sick, I'm going to make excuses, and eventually parents are not going to expend that excuses, and they're going to drag my tail all the way crying to the school. That's literally the death process. The time has come, I haven't done what I was supposed to do, and I am being dragged, I'm yelling the bloody murder, please save me. But that is one decision, at least to the schoolmaster, the teacher, parents may be able to send an appeal and do something, say something, present a medical certificate or whatever and save the child from punishment. Here, there is no bribery, no recommendation going to work. It is that fear. If you're going to transcend that fear, you have to do something now. Otherwise, you will go through that fear. Bhavajala Bhikamu Dharamano. That passage otherwise becomes very torturous. That's why everybody don't want to talk. Don't discuss death. No matter how conscious that reality is, how well we know at every level, right from the day one, that that day is going to come. But don't remind me, please. Let me play a little bit more. Not yet. And that not yet immediately becomes now. Can it take 5 minutes? No. Now. 1 minute, can I say goodbye? No. Now. A sudden fear. That feeling is absolutely sinking feeling. And Gurbani reminds it. He says, look, it's not that it is only written for you. These laws are not only for any specific individual. It's universal. So, do something about what? Bhavajala Bhikamu Dharamano na kandhi na par. It's not the kind of river that you can make arrangements to go across. It's a journey. This dimension, that dimension. That's it. Can I say something from that dimension? No. Can I say from this dimension to that dimension? No. Even for a fraction of a moment? No. So, na bedi na tulahada. Those are the means of crossing a river. Either a boat or just plank of wood. Tulahada is literally when you tie a few planks together with a rope and make a flat platform. That's called tulahada. Na bedi na tulahada. Not this one jamalar. Nobody is good. There is a driving the boat for you and say, okay, come on, I'll take you on the other side. There is no such thing. It's a journey taken all by the self. Complete individual. Satguru Peka Bhavatha Nadari Parutar. If you had paid attention to that word that came to you, Peka Bohetha, had you taken that to your heart, you would have been prepared. It wouldn't scare you anymore. You'll be ready. Any moment, every moment. But we read these things. Live like it is your first day. Sleep like it is your last night. Meet as if you have met for the first time. Leave as if you are never going to meet again. But do we do that?
Of course not.
We just repeat like parrot. And Gurbani says, don't become a parrot. Implement it. एक तिल प्यारा विसरे दुख लागे सुख जाए जेहवा जलो जलावणी नाम न जपे रसाए घट बिन से दुख अगलो जम पकड़े पछताए. Says you need to prepare yourself to the level where you should actually, while alive, should experience that pain. How would you experience that pain while alive? Gurbani says, एक तिल प्यारा विसरे दुख लगे सुख जाए. You should experience that death when you forget that memory. You should feel alive when that memory is with you, within you. And you can experience that. Every Brahmajnani experiences it. Yes, Asha.
Why would you say in this life or when you are alive experience that pain?
Yeah, practice. So that you know, if you
But
don't...
When we practice, we feel happy and good. We don't feel pain.
True. But when you don't practice, then what? What happens then? When you practice, you feel happy. I accept.
Right.
Okay. Tell me, when you don't practice, what happens to you?
Problems.
No, then it's a
Stress.
pain. Then it is a pain.
That's what it's saying. That when you don't practice, you should experience that pang.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You should feel that, hey, something is missing here. Your mindset should become, yeah, what happened? Where did my lover go? I was just in his memory or her memory or whatever you want to call it. Why am lost away from this? And when you feel that, you experience. And that trains you that when the right moment comes, there will be no such pain. एक तिल प्यारा विसरे दुख लागे सुख जाए जेहवा जलो जलावली नाम न जपे रसाए. Says, what's the idea of giving you the tongue? It was not meant for just eating the food. If you are using the tongue only to eat the food, then you are not better than any animal. Human tongue has one more capability which animal tongue doesn't.
Speaking.
Japana. Meditation. Chanting. Japana. Jap. Repeat. Jeva jalo jalani says that tongue is useless. Burn it. You are not doing what it was meant for. Jeva jalo jalavani naam na jape. It has not done the job it was meant for in the human form. Because if you did that, घट बिन से दुख अगलो जम पकड़े पछताए. Those who don't do that, what happens? The time moves on. Ghatbin says it's going on. The end comes. The time and space has cut and say enough is enough. Let's go. And then suddenly that pang, certainly that pain. Meri kar gaye tan dhan kalat nasat. What makes the human mind-body system forget that process? These are the attractions. He says these are the reasons for your forgetting it. What? Meri. I am doing it. Mine. Even the little 2 years old child learns this. Sonny, give that to your sister. Mine. No, but that's not yours. It says, no, mine. And he repeats that with such a conviction, and there's so much pain in that word that he's trying to arouse that sympathy in you. Then you turn around to the other. What do you leave it? Look at him. I can't stand him. Leave it alone. That's what makes you forget. Mine. Mary. Kar gaye. And because of what? Tan, body. Dhan, not the wealth. Dhan means the wife. Tan, dhan, kalat. The children. None of them are now. You kept on saying they are mine and I am doing for them, which is a very common phrase, isn't it? Your lover repeats you that 20,000 times a day. I'm only doing it for you. Isn't it? Are you getting nothing out of it? No. Okay. I'll make a deal with you. You stop doing what you're doing for me. And see what happens. Let's do it for about a week. See what happens. But we hide behind these so pseudo thought processes and holier than thou attitudes. Always take the high road as if I have no investment in it. But that investment is so hidden. And Gurbani says, pull it out and look at it. These are the causes of you forgetting and not focusing on what you should be focusing on. Bin naame tan baad hai bhulo marg. मेरी कर गए तन धन कलत न साथ बिन नामे धनबाद है भूलो मार्ग आत साचो साहेब सेविये गुरमुख अकथो कात. Understand that is the root cause of all of this. It is not made for just one person or few selected ones. One of the reason for misery on this planet has been because of that thought. A group of people have a belief system say, we are the chosen one. That's it. We are God's people. We are the chosen one. What made you the chosen one? The fact that a group of people presented the thought, which was, there are not multiple gods, there's only one. Who were those? Jews. Moses. That's their name to the fame, that in the presence of the entire world of the Eastern culture, they were the group of people who said God is one. That's their specialty. But they reversed it. Instead of saying that we said God is one, they turned it around and said, God said you are my people. And they have been chased by the rest of the Western cultures and societies to make them stop saying this, that what is so special about you, you are the chosen one, and they won't forget it. They won't give that thought up. We are the chosen one. There is no chosen one on this planet, has never been, it never shall be. The only chosen ones are those who get the true message, follow the true message, and eventually break the bondage of life and death. That's it.
So there are chosen ones then.
Right.
They choose
They
him.
chose themselves.
They choose him over everything else. See the difference? Responsibility is not on God to choose you. Responsibility is on you to choose God over everything else.
Why is there so much emphasis on every religion says my religion is better, this is better?
That's marketing,
That's what sells.
That's a marketing.
right? You want members, how are you going to sell?
But
Right? Every shop says, right? You go to Pioneer Boulevard and walk into any jewelry store, what are they going to tell you? That guy is a thief. He is building the impure ornament, mine are pure. Every one of them is a thief.
Yeah, he's getting from India, I'm getting from Canada.
but the basic root of everything is ego. Your ego.
Absolutely.
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 Everything.
Everything eventually
ego.
boils down to is
Ego.
original sin.
Ego.
Original sin.
It's ego.
I am I, you are you.
Ego is the cause, and it comes.
That I am separate than you. God is God and I am I. God and man are separate, different. Start with the separation. God did not make that. Human did. God did not say you are separate from me. Human said I am separate from you.
You said break the bondage of life and death. See, unless we are born, we have life, we cannot die. And unless we die, we cannot be reborn.
Yeah.
So the bondage will always remain. Because without one, the other one doesn't exist.
Why should it exist at all?
Shouldn't affect you.
Why not to become part of the ocean and never have to become a drop? Journey starts when you become a drop. If you fall back into the ocean, you become part of ocean. Game finished. And now, if you say, hey look, I enjoy the game. I want to be born. Well, that's okay. Then continue.
We have to be at that stage to become a drop in the ocean.
Of course.
See, so this
That's the process being described here.
Correct. So till then, that
But the drop knows that it went into the ocean, but ocean doesn't know because it
Ocean
just
doesn't
becomes
need to
part
know.
of it.
Drop doesn't know when.
But the ocean doesn't need to know.
See, did we not fall into the trap again in the same thing? Ocean is ocean and drop is drop. See that?
You become one with it.
Isn't it? Look at the conversation.
Yeah, for us.
The conversation itself is leading you into again and confirming the thought.
that we are
Why should drop know or the ocean know? What is there? What is that urge?
I think
That it should be known.
hadn't.
You know what? Hey ocean, I came and fell into you.
very good.
What is this urge?
The ego.
That's the ego.
This ego is.
But if
So
you're
strong.
going to
It
fall,
is.
there won't
It
be
comes
an
in
ego.
everything.
If you're going to fall, if you're at a stage to fall, there should
That's
be
the point,
there is no
Baldiji.
ego.
She's saying, well, if I fall, how does he know?
No, I'm not saying how does he know. I said he doesn't.
He doesn't know.
because he's-
Okay, you said he doesn't know that the drop even fell.
Right.
Okay, fine, he doesn't know. Why is bothering the drop?
No, it's not bothering the drop. What I'm saying is that
Meditate on that thought.
when you do assimilate, he doesn't really
No, he
know
would
that.
know. He would know.
But the question is, ask yourself,
Why does he need?
why is the need for him to know? What is that urge? Where is this energy coming from? Hey, I'll fall into you, but you don't even know. So,
My ego is hurting, see.
isn't it? That's exactly right.
This ego is so bad.
That statement is coming from that depth of the ego. Hey, I am willing to become a drop, the purest possible drop. I am willing to come to you. I am willing to merge into you. But do you even know that I merged into you?
Yeah, but it's not like that. No.
It took 55 years
Right?
to build.
That question
No,
itself.
it's not that. Don't you know? It's not that.
Okay, what is it?
I'm just saying it
Kids don't have it.
that the God itself. Let me think. What question was
Yeah.
before that?
Yeah. Meditate on it. That's what I'm saying. It'll become clear.
No, I know. What
It's a very
I
profound,
know what you're saying.
it's a very, very fine point.
I know what you're saying, that what's the need to know, but what I'm saying is it's not the need for him to know, it's just that...
Is there a
when
need
we
for the
merge-
drop to know?
Yeah, but...
Is there a need for the drop to know?
No, it's not a need for drop to know or
Okay.
him to know, but what I'm saying is when you do merge into God, that you're ready to be there, you do merge in, but for God everybody is same, he doesn't know that anybody's merging in or not. But we are proceeding towards that, so we can
Okay.
merge into
And
him.
nobody
Understand that this characteristics of knowing or not knowing
Stroking ego.
it belongs to the dimension of the ego.
The whole problem is the ego.
When that distinction disappears, that's the final gasp of the ego to die. Thy will be done.
This enlightened soul will.
That's where the true light lights up. When even that gasp, that's a final gasp of the ego.
Well, when we come here, we all have our individual egos, and it seems like we spend the whole life becoming who it is we are, even spending years wondering who we are until we finally think we find a little bit of who we are. Then why have this big ego and this big quest to find out who we are if it's not good or not necessary?
What I submit to you is that what you just said is actually a facade. We really don't know who we are. We think we do.
Even just a little.
We don't. All that is a camouflage. All that is an illusion. Because who we are the true essence of that creative energy, which we never find. We never know. We define ourselves from the outer shelf. Hey, I am a woman who believes in this and who does that, who has these many children, who has this life, that life, this, etc., etc. So what are we defining ourselves by? By periphery. Not by from the... What are on the periphery? What are the circumstances?
But it's the society we live in.
Right. That's exactly right. But in the spiritual, in the mystical world, if you found out who you are, you would be God. Because that's who you are.
So is it our path to find it?
Precisely.
But we need the ego to do that though, right?
We take our first step
Right.
with that and slowly keep on dissolving it. As we keep on getting closer. That's why Chinese give you 7 boxes, each box fitting into the other one, each box fitting into the other one. And they say start from the outermost and drop that, and then you say, well, I still have 6 left. Yeah. Now spend some time in knowing that 6th one, and then you drop the 6th one. Well, 5 left, and you continue going, and they say you continue evolving till all 7 have dropped. And the student says, well, then there's nothing left. You say, well, that's what you want. You think there is nothing. Creativity is not nothingness. It is the energy without the subject-object relationship.
Could you say it again one more time,
It is
please?
the energy.
Creativity is the energy.
Without the subject-object relationship. Without the duality.
It just
It's a
is.
purest awareness of I am that I am. That's it.
I am that I am.
It cannot define itself any more than that. I am that I am. That's it. That pure awareness, nothing to look at, nothing to feel, nothing to observe, no object, no subject, no observation, nothing to be observed. Just pure awareness of being.
And acceptance.
Nothing to be observed is God, pure awareness.
No, that is a false statement. When you are not, He is.
So the acceptance, complete acceptance will be
Eh,
followed
that's
by
what the
itself.
first step is. Hukum razai chalana. That's what the first step to a Sikh is. Start your journey with that statement.
So, everything is Maya, but why?
Drama. Play.
Or
Illu-
for us?
For everybody. For everything. For everything. He is part of the drama. He's in with you. He's playing with you. He's not staying outside and letting you play and watching you. It's a fallacy completely. This entire is a drama. When that consciousness was there, it said, who am I? Let me take a part of me and look at it and say, is this me? No, wait a minute. It couldn't be. It's not. Okay, one more part. Okay, one more part. One became many.
And
Who am I? Still, the answer is not there. How can a part be equal to the whole? To experience that awareness is experiencing that creativity. What is the purpose of this? I want to know myself. The whole game. So what happens? You dissolve into the game, you never solve the mystery. That's why life is a mystery. You are a salt, pebble,
Sugar.
a handful of salt going into the ocean, trying to find how deep the ocean is. As you keep on going deeper, you still haven't touched the bottom.
it is all.
But an interesting phenomenon is taking place. As you go deeper, you lose a part of you. You dissolve. What happens? You never touch the bottom. You just dissolve.
Ego disappeared.
Ego disappears. The questioner disappears. The answers never come back. That is the mystery of life. The questioner will eventually dissolve. That question that just came out of your being, for what purpose, dummy? you will just see the ocean and say, wow, I am that I am. That will be it.
The shortest sentence where there is no action taking place is quote unquote I am.
No. The shortest sentence is ajaname. One word.
I knew he would do that.
Ajaname, akarame, abharame. You know who said that? The only human alive on this planet who made a sentence out of a single word. You know who that is? Shri Guru Gobind Singh.
That's true. You had mentioned that before, I forgot.
Go read Jap Sahib.
So, meaning of that will be
Ajaname, akarame, abharame. You know.
right. No.
So there are, I think, about 133 words. I don't know,
Right,
yeah,
right.
something like that,
Yeah.
where he just
describes
keep on
doing.
defining the creativity with negative words.
Negative words, right.
18.
He's not this, he's not this.
He's not this, he's not this, he's not this, he's not this. And it's a full sentence.
Uh-huh.
Ajanme means he's not
Ajanme.
born, he's unborn. Akarme means he is not in the trap of karma.
Uh-huh.
Abharme means he has no doubts about anything.
I would love to have this in writing.
We have it.
Black and white.
It's a part.
No, she can give you in Hindi right now. Stop afterwards. She'll print it. They have on the computer.
Not today.
Not today.
You need to make a special trip to Divanji and he will help you.
When he has the computer.
Email kar dena mujhe. That's
No, I'm not that expert. I just have a copy.
okay.
I'll bring you a copy.
Thank you.
But I have to know.
I think
It is on the internet if you want.
How
they
do
were
I
giving
get
in the Gurdwara.
Yeah. It's just available.
Except Hara and
The word, the title of the Bani is Jap Sahib by Guru Gobind Singh.
Right. Very difficult.
Like Toka is here, the bit Ratan. Ratan means Johar. Ratan means Johar.
Johar, right. Yeah. And what I was saying is why that is word used in Gurbani is because the light without the shadow. Okay, so
Ratan means Joe.
yeah, the most expensive. You know what happened to Motilal? His son was Jawaharlal, right? And when he was born, Motilal said that my generation is not going to proceed further because there is nothing more precious than Jawahar. And Motilal's father was Hiralal.
Hira, Moti, Jawahar. Oh my.
Yeah.
But
And
Moti
Jawaharlal
came
only
after
had.
Hira.
Huh?
Moti came after Hira. It went step down, didn't it?
Well, it depends how you look at it. I don't know which is more expensive or they not. What I'm saying is that Jawaharlal's the father. When the Pandit gave the name based on the Kundali and said Jawahar, and he said, my generations are done. And so Nehru got married and only produced a daughter. And that was it. He couldn't produce a son. So Nehru's dynasty died with Jawahar.
Well,
I mean, it may be just a myth or a made-up story or whatever. But what I'm saying is that in India, they caliber the various expensive stones and categorize some. Gurbani uses this as a metaphor for the true gyan, true knowledge. The knowledge should not have its own shadow. What is this? What's the shadow of the knowledge?
no.
Ego.
The pride. Yeah, that I'm knowledgeable.
I have a knowledge that my ego becomes my shadow of my knowledge. So that's not a true knowledge. If the knowledge brought the ego with it, it's not a true knowledge.
Ignorance.
So more knowledgeable, more the ego?
Absolutely.
No.
Talk to any see those Vedis and Dvedis, Trivedis and Chaturvedis. Chaturvedis were the one who knew all four of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk to them. See if they even like to sit next to the other one.
Or they just got the last name.
No, but it's
No,
not them.
originally.
Forget about them.
Originally.
In a everyday life,
Not
every
now.
second of our life, we are surrounded by ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our ego reflects everything.
It is
Our-
all
the
over
moment
we are a victim of that, and Gurbani says if you are going to
We are victims.
grow spiritually, you have to recognize this fundamental,
The ego.
right? How में धीरग रोग है. It is the most insidious malady in every human being.
Yeah.
It's not simple to get rid of. It's not easy to understand. And even when you fall into the trap of arguing about,
That I don't have a ego.
I don't have any ego.
ego बड़ी this is
हाँ,
धीरज रोग है.
मैं तो इतनी अम्बल हूँ ego क्या मैं पता ही नहीं.
हाँ जी,
But
हम
then-
तो हाथ जोड़ के बात करते हैं हमेशा
हाँ,
किसी से।
बिल्कुल.
बात करने से पहले भी हाथ जोड़ देते हैं। ईगो कहाँ है यहाँ?
That's right. Absolutely. But one thing though, see, you look at the people who have been coming here for years, and you see a little bit halo around their head, and now when that happens, of course you are going to think you are somebody special.
No, not necessarily.
And that's okay. Go ahead, think. There's nothing I can add to that. If you start thinking you are somebody special, what I submit to you is what the story I gave you.
In the wrong direction.
Do you really
Then
see it?
the king will get up and take you in the arms and say, दोस्त मिले ना तू कहीं गया ना मैं कहीं गया.
You know, there was a point to what I said.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay, so let's move further and wrap it up. मेरी मेरी कर गए तन धन कलत न साथ बिन नामे धन बाध है भूलो मार्गात साचो साहब सेविये गुरमुख akatho kath. You can then get the energy to be able to say that is difficult to say. आवे जाए भवाइये पये किरत कमाए पूर्व लिखिया क्यों मेटिये लिखिया लेख रजाए बिन हर नाम न छुटिए गुरमत मिले मिलाए. Now, Gurbani is hitting at the root of the theory of karma here. We fall into the trap action and reactions. I did bad, I must suffer for it. I did good, I must get reward for it. And Gurbani said, then you can never get out of it. Their nature, the creative energy did create a way out of that dilemma. Which is what? Ave jaye bhavaye paye kirta kamaye. If that's what it is, right? We fall into the trap of kirt means what I do. Action and reaction starts. Aao jao, keeps on. Add an infinitive. And the question will be asked, Purv likhya kyo meti hai, likhya lekh rajaye. Hey, this is my destiny. How is that going to end? If I'm this way, I have to go through this. No, you are being misled. That's not what it meant. The theory of karma applies in the dimension of physical and intellectual existence. Physical, remember the four levels of existence. Physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. Right? Theory of karma applies in the three dimensions. In the fourth dimension, it has no meaning. So, focus on the fourth dimension. And the theory of karma won't catch you. Which is, how would you do that? Bin har naam na chutiye. Get onto the meditation path. Get into the spiritual world, and the theory of karma will absolutely become impotent. Because in the fourth dimension, it has no meaning.
To go to spiritual level, one has to have peace of mind, and then all the disturbances of mind need to calm down. For that, karma is necessary. Japa is karma.
You are doing
Japa
you are
is
talking in
karma.
the reverse order.
Japa is karma.
You start with that,
Correct.
and then the peace of mind will come. You are putting the peace of mind ahead of the japa. That's not what it's meant to be. When the mind is disturbed, is not quiet,
Do japa.
very quietly bring him down and say, sit down. Meditate. He's going to try to run out again. I understand you have a very, very old habit. Come back. It will keep on running, you keep on bringing back. It will keep on running. And slowly, the peace of mind will evolve over a period of time through that abhyas, through that sannyas. It will happen.
Oh. My understanding was that karma quietens the mind.
Karma creates the noise in the mind.
I mean karma like japa, like reading Gurbani. These we are doing that karma to
No.
quieten and bring peace to mind.
If this karma that we are doing right now,
Right, that's karma.
if this adds to just the knowledge and the information,
Then it is not spiritual.
then it has nothing to do with spirituality.
I agree.
Okay? Anything that is making the inner further adding to the noise and disturbance and halchal is non-spiritual in nature. It is attached with the outer world. It's attached with the karmindriya, the actions, sensual things. If it is spiritual, it cannot have any other effect other than the quieter. No more running around this way. No more hankering about that. No more worrying about that. Come back. So that's the only action in the entire human endeavor that has the potential of freeing you from the cycle of action and reaction. Every other action will lead to the reaction. Meditate on that thought. Because that's the only effort which will turn your entire existence into the world of senses into the inner being. It will change its direction. Because all the senses in the human body are outbound. Every single one of them. And when you tell the senses, quiet down, they are forced to go inward. You break their habit, pattern, memories, emotions that constantly lead to out. You break that pattern by practicing on a regular, daily basis. Break that pattern. And you will suddenly discover that it's not hankering anymore. That means there's more peace. It's not arguing anymore inside, right? When we want to make a decision, we actually set up opposing forces within our own self. Don't we? I should, today is Friday? Yeah, I should go there today. Well, he says the same thing every day. What's the big deal? Right? No, but I committed and he comes, so it doesn't look really nice.
So let me go.
Yeah, so we should go. To hell with him. Have a party today. So who's talking that? Right? You don't have anybody next sitting to you. You have created the division within your own self. And you are creating the pro and cons. That's called dubhida. And in that dubhida, right, there is a tension. Ping pong ball. constant. But when you go into the japa, when you go to the meditation, suddenly there's no urge. There's nobody arguing inside. It's sudden peace and quiet.
Okay.
That's why there's so much emphasis. Hey, don't discuss it. Just do it. You will know it by yourself. You wouldn't have to come and ask anybody what happens. You will know it. Just get going. You'll experience it. Everybody has. Anybody who has done it has it. You will too. Okay? बिन हर नाम ना छूटिए. गुरमत मिले मिलाए तिस बिन मेरा को नहीं जिसका जियो प्राण हमें ममता जल बलो लोभ जलो अभिमान नानक शब्द विचारिये पाइये गुणी निधान. What's the conclusion? Say, tis bin mera ko nahi. It is a revolutionary shake-up of the consciousness. Which is what? Today, meet my husband, meet my wife, meet my child, meet my friend, meet my brother, meet my... Right? This is mine, this is mine, this is my... See my house, see my car, see my... Isn't it? And Gurbani says, is that really yours? Do you really have that type of relationship? Think about it. Because the only true relationship you have is from where you came. That's the only true relationship. Because that's where you're going to go back eventually. Everybody else will... How has it happened? Let's look at the journey of our life, isn't it? 30 years ago, my face was not known here on this part of the world. So a certain time and space, we met. 10 years ago, we started this. Right? So what happens? What are these relationships? Time and space intersection creates events, and then the time and space intersection drop the events. How can you call they are mine? They are just intersection points on a line. Time and space line, that's it. Something appeared on that cross section, you saw it, and then it will disappear from your consciousness and it will go away. Something that you know is transitory in nature. How have you developed this thought? This is mine. 40 years ago, you were not living in this house. You didn't even know this house existed. So how you call this house today? Another 10 years, you may not need this house and you may retire to Florida. So why is this your house? Why is mine?
Because I pay the mortgage.
I was thinking that too.
I'm in charge of keeping it clean.
Yes.
At the most, you are a caretaker.
Caretaker, that's right. It's my responsibility.
Just around.
That's exactly, and Gurbani says, if you get this through your head, that this journey is like traveling and stopping over a night in a motel, in a hotel, and then moving on.
It's a long night.
Granted, this night could be 70 years in time scale. But on the scale of time of creation, how big that is?
Not even fraction of second.
Right?
A drop.
If you just forget about they are looking at the stars 2,500 billion light years. Imagine, we cannot even on a piece of paper write down the mathematics associated with that.
Yeah, but this is our reality, right?
Right? But
Every day.
in our own environment, that guy cut me off in front of that lane.
I have a wave for him.
That event is so important that the whole of the world stops.
And you become something you don't want to be.
Exactly. So Gurbani is waking us up. Tis bin mera ko nahi. Get that into your mind. Who are you talking about? What is that this? Jiska Jio Pran. The one who gave you the body and the energy within it. Hamme mamta jal balo lob jalo abhiman. Hamme means ego. Mamta means attachment. Lobh means greed. Let all these energies wither away from you. Let them slowly burn away, drop out of it. And if you do that, Nanak Shabd Vicharye Paye Guni Nidhan. Understand that it has been already as if somebody has taken the essence, Shabd Vicharye. Somebody has already taken the vichar, the thought, out of it and given to you that you will get to where? Paye Guni Nidhan. You will get to the ultimate state of existence for which you are meant to be. So with that thought, we'll stop here. Today we combined the answer sessions, question sessions with it, so that's why you see it's about 10 o'clock today. So thank you for coming. Would we have the next session or we won't?
Yeah, we have on 20. We have on first, and then on 22nd,
Okay.
and then 29th.
Yeah. Divanji is very studious in that way, so he will inform you as to how the schedule might shift a week this way or that way. So, because
15th we won't be, so we'll have 22nd. Because 8th we won't be.
ਅੱਛਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਰਤਨ ਰਾਮ ਹੀ ਕੇ ਭੀਤਰ ਤਾਕੋ ਗਿਆਨ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਓ
No,
ਇੱਥੇ
June
ਰਤਨ ਦਾ
1st,
ਮਤਲਬ
say that again.
ਰਤਨ ਰਾਮ ਘਟ ਹੀ ਕੇ ਭੀਤਰ
Ha!
ਤਾਕੋ ਗਿਆਨ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਓ
Right.
2 weeks in a row.
Stay there
we're
now.
missing 15th.
That's fine.
Left.
And we don't meet for Memorial Day weekend.
No, that one is.
No, that's next weekend.
20.
That is the first
28th.
That's 28th. We'll be meeting on 29th. We'll be meeting 29th.
Yeah. Isn't that a Monday? Yeah.
29th?
June, he's talking about June.
Oh, you're talking about June.
We'll
No,
meet
it's
on
May.
we'll meet on 1st of June,
First?
1st June, 22nd June, and then 29th.
Okay.
Right.
First, 22nd, 29th.
Okay. Dhaliwal Sahab is asking a question. I wanted everybody to hear the answer to that.
What was the question?
Ratan Gyan Ghat Hi Ke Bhitar. And the word Ratan again comes back.
ਰਤਨ ਰਾਮ
Ratan Ram
ਘਟ ਹੀ
Ghat Hi Ke Bhitar. So, Ratan, that awareness which has no shadow. About who? Ram. Ramaya, the creator. Where is he? Ghat hi ke bhitar.
Where is he? He's inside us.
Inside, outside, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Tako
ਗਿਆਨ
Gyan na payo. Did not even make an effort to understand that. And what did we do? We created my God, your God. God lives in this house, in this direction, in this place, and this. And created such a real mess for ourselves. Just by a simple slip of the tongue. And where it has taken the humanity. Look at it. That thought, which should have put the people together, became the root cause of separation.
And killings.
That thought, which should have given you an extreme peace, internal peace, actually created chaos within. What's that? Go talk to your children today and see how conflicted they are.
Oh,
Sad. But American Indians, they are. What is your study about American Indians? They worship God, nature.
Are you talking about the...
American Indians.
Natives.
Native American Indians.
They are far closer.
They are far closer to nature and God. They are.
Yeah.
They are very close. Their books, their culture.
You said that we say that I'm doing this for you, So say for working, you start working because you want to work for the family, but then in the meantime, you start enjoying your own achievement. So that's when the ego comes in? No?
Ego is there from the day you are given your first Gudiya, first Barbie, your ego was there at that moment. It doesn't come because of adults doing something.
But you were saying that there's something in there for you also. So
the fact that I go to work and then come back and throw it on the
family
faces of my children and my wife is a pure statement of arrogance. Because if I was not doing that and sitting home, I would have gone insane by myself sitting there.
Right.
Number one. Number two, I would not be able to sustain and maintain the so-called social image lifestyle that I am maintaining now. And for me to just say I'm doing it all for you is playing a complete deceptive game for myself as well for the others.
So it's not that you start enjoying your own achievements and all that.
Yeah.
It's not that.
Aren't we born with the ego?
Ego is given to us. The moment we name the child and we start telling the child, you are separate than me.
So if you didn't do that, you were in the jungle or something?
Have you not read the story of that boy they caught who lived in the jungle with the animals? He had no concept of me and them, anything. He didn't have any concept.
That's true. Yeah, you said that we have made a mess, but like most of us are just blind followers of what the preachers tell us.
Because we grow up.
And that's exactly right. Yeah. But Gurbani didn't say that we should do that.
We did not know that.
Gurbani said, Akli padke bujhiye, Akli paiye maan, Akli sahib seviye, Akli kiche daan.
Use the akal.
Use your akal.
Akal to chali gayi
na. But how to use it, we don't know.
No,
yes, you do.
So busy raising families, working. I mean, we don't pay attention to
Child is 2 years old and you give it all.
This doesn't take time. It just takes introspection, constant introspection. You don't have to sit down and do it.
Achar's question is, from 2 years old child, if he learns, how does he know what's right and what's not?
I mean, you give a doll to a 2-year-old girl. This is your doll. We are bringing toy. This is your toy. That is how the child, as opens eyes, is learning. It is mine, and doesn't want to give to another sibling.
Right.
This is mine, and that keeps increasing. Mine. And so parents are teaching, all that concept of mine, and so ego begins right there.
And like they're showing on TV, like how the kids.
That a very question was Diwan Saab's question a few sessions back. Let him come back and he will actually explain it to you.
So गलती हमारी नहीं है. Parents or grandparents, generations together. See, this is humans.
No.
We are doing the same mistake further and further.
You are not free from this.
We are all repeating the same mistake.
बच्चे को बता दिया तब उसका क्या कसूर है अगर वो उसको लेके भाग लिया सारी उम्र?
टॉय, बच्चे को टॉय दिया दीवान जी और बोला कि ये तुम्हारी है, ठीक है ना, तो वो शेयर नहीं करना चाहता सिबलिंग के साथ, मेरी मेरी मेरी। ओके, तो ये हम बच्चे मतलब पेरेंट्स या एनी ओल्डर पीपल, दे आर ब्रेन वॉशिंग द चाइल्ड इनटू माइनेस एंड ईगोनेस एंड लाइक दैट, possessiveness.
They're not knowingly brainwashing, but they are putting in the seed.
Introducing the concept of my mind.
Seed, and because we do that out of our ignorance.
Right, exactly. So
If we were today, if we were to say, we might word it differently.
Correct.
This is for your use. We share with others.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Joint family में होता भी था वैसा, तो कम था ये.
No, but what is missing here in this equation? Divan Sahib asked me about his grandchildren and I was sharing with him as to how that cycle has taken a wrong turn. And I was sharing with him, maybe he's forgotten it, the metaphor that when you plant a tree and it comes from the ground, you have to protect it, right? From the animals, from the birds, from the weather, from everything. Then that tree grows up. Now, the strong wind can come. As a matter of fact, you will take an animal and tie in with him so that the animal cannot run away. You don't keep that shell that created as a protection, don't you? You take it away as it grows up. The portion that we missed, we gave to the child the protection when he needed. But when he came of age, when he could understand the differences intellectually, we never went back and said, that was for your protection, that's not a reality. Here's the truth now. The so-called coming of age, and this is universal phenomenon. Every culture, every religion has the coming of age event for a male as well as for a female. The coming of age meant was to now tell the truth. Not to have a party and get drunk. The idea of coming of the age that the child now can intellectually understand that I am really not the prettiest girl, there are other pretty girls also. I should not carry that ego with me that I am the prettiest one. हाँ जी वो जी बस करो महाराज मैं परेड खाली कर रहा हूँ.
Thank you for the reinforcement. I had the second stage.
Yeah. That's where
is important. Very important.
Very, very important role of the society and the parents. When the child comes of the age, the conversation you need to have with the child is not about the bees and the flowers. You don't need to do that. Nature has built-in mechanism for you to reproduce. You do not need to learn from the books or from the parents. But you need to learn from the parents and the society that what you were told was only because of your protection, because you were at that time not able to walk by yourself. I had to hold your hand to walk the street. Now let me tell you the truth. The human life is, the purpose is this. The purpose of education is this. Purpose of living in the society is this. This is how you become a human in the society. This is how you become an evolved soul in the eyes of your Creator. And you need to balance those. You don't need to run away from the life to be accepted in the eyes of the God. And you don't need to be just doing God's work and not the society work at all. It is that portion we missed. We created the, bar mitzvah, and we created the name sanskaran, right? And
Confirmation.
Baptism.
right? I mean, we created those ceremonies around the coming of, right? Janeu, Mundan, and the other side, Pagari, tying in for the Sikhs and all. We created those completely forgetting what the purpose is. Coming of age meant know the truth, because that is the time when that entity is now looking for the truth. And what we feed them? More lies, more deception, and then the child revolts and say, come on, mom, God could not be sitting there on the thing and writing everything down. I mean, I'm so important for him that he doesn't have any other work left to do. You kidding me? And if he's God, how could be that cruel? Right? That's a common question, isn't it? Why there's so much hunger? Why there is so much this? Why there's so much that if the God is so love? And you, as a parent, need to be able to answer that question in a truthful, honest, candid way.
When a grown-up person says, there is really no God, everything happened by nature only, in all honesty. And all this God and all that was created only to have peace and reduce stress and feel more secure. So this is all, and so...
Why? So is that such a bad objective? To have a peace and a quiet and serene living. Because that's exactly... I was in engineering college second year when somebody came to me and said exactly the same thing. It's the crutch of the weaker. I said, okay, fine. What you use as a crutch? Don't you feel weak anyway? I tell you, when I feel, I say, oh God, please give me the strength. And I feel good. Whether he gives me or not is irrelevant. I feel good. Have you ever sung, oh cosmic dust? Would that help? Are you making fun of me? I said, no, I'm just asking you. If it is a construct, I'm not going to argue with you. At least you accept the fact that it is a construct which gives the peace of mind in a conflict environment. Well, it's good enough for me. I will keep that construct back.
And feel more secure.
Whatever that feeling is, secure, insecure, irrelevant. The point is, it does something to my inner being, does it not?
But that is
on the internet, they were actually having this dialogue. They say, I'm an atheist. So, how did you become an atheist? Well, my father was very religious and he wanted me to, and I said, prove it to me, and he couldn't. And thank God I didn't follow him.
Thank God.
Thank God I didn't follow him.
But the majority of the whole world is like they're doing worship, going to Gurdwara, going to temple, going to anywhere, because they're just going for the peace of mind for themselves.
If it is a diversion from whatever it is, and it is effective in accomplishing that task,
right, then it's okay. That's all. I think that's what the majority of the world is doing that.
Nowadays more like socialization.
Yeah.
Social and the peace of mind.
so anybody who wants to argue the point whether he is there or not is absolutely wasting the time and energy for the ego gratification.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because neither one of the things can be proven irrevocably beyond any reason, beyond any doubts. It cannot be proven. One way or the other. Darwinian theory cannot be proven.
Correct.
Whatever Darwin said,
Right.
that this came from here, and when you ask them, fine. A simple thing, you say, take the hydrochloric acid and mix it with this alkali and it brings a salt and something else. Well, why is that happening? Well, this has these many electrons, and they are having a reaction. Why are they having a reaction? Who created that? Why, it is this property. But why? Why is the water wet? Well, it's a property of the water. I heard you. Tell me why it is.
Gotcha. There's no answer, yeah.
So, scientifically, you will get to a point where you will say, it is the way it is. Whether you are in physics, chemistry, electronics, it doesn't matter which science you are dealing with. Every scientist will come to a point and say, this is how it happens. I have just observed this behavior. And they keep on going deeper and say, well, why? Let me break it down. And that's what is the quantum physics now, saying we have broken it down as far as we could break. And the answers we are getting is basically saying the mystics were not that far off when they were saying it's an illusion.
When I got thoroughly exhausted by this person, there is no God, and etc., etc. Finally, I said my favorite sentence, faith is something I cannot teach you to have it. Either you have it or you don't have it. End of story.
Ashaji, you should not ever try to prove to somebody that there is God. Don't even fall in that trap. Don't even discuss it. Don't argue the point. Neither can scientists prove it that he is not, nor can the mystic prove it that he is. It's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time, and it gets you absolutely nowhere. That discussion is completely invalid. So when the question is wrong, the answer cannot be right. Is he there? I don't know. Do you believe it? I do. So if you don't know, why do you believe it?
Faith.
Believe.
Faith.
That's it.
That up to that point I was doing fine.
And that's all. That's it. I'm not going to be dragged into any more conversation on the topic.
Why this person keeps probing is because that person cannot...
Because that's how he is getting his egotistical kicks.
There you go. Thank you.
He wants to see you humble yourself and say, you win, leave me alone.
See, what that person can't understand is why we come here and meet with you.
And he would never.
He was telling me, ask me anything you want to know, I will explain. I have studied everything. I studied this.
I do not need to know what you know.
Good.
I don't have any curiosity to learn what you have learned. I am not in the business of collecting information and arguments. I'm not. I'm not collecting more knowledge. I'm not debating anybody. I have no desire to win in a declamation contest.
Or lose.
Huh?
Or lose.
Or lose. I have neither one of them. Because at the end, that's how we're going to part company. We agree to disagree. So let's part company right now. We agree to disagree. If we are going to do the same thing after 2 hours of literally churning water, there's not going to be any butter out of it. So let's say goodbye to each other right now, or change the topic.
Fascinating how God creates people who think so differently. It amazes me, no end.
That's the drama.
You know, it's
Different character of the story. Varieties.
I mean, so genuinely this person believes
Believe that.
that because he has read 5,000 books from different religions from childhood.
Yeah.
Anything I want to know, all I have to do is send him an email and I will get the answer of 50 pages.
Go on Wikipedia, and right now there is an argument going on how to define God. Today, go on Google, type in the word God. The very first definition will be from the Wikipedia encyclopedia. You know what that Wikipedia movement is?
No.
Encyclopedia being maintained by the people at large.
Okay.
You add your own views, what they are, and there is a committee of people who edit it and accept it or reject it. There is a right now struggle going on how to define God. And somebody put in a definition according to the Judeo-Christian religion, this is what God is. And guess what happened? All the Hindu acharyas came out of them. What do you think, that only world exists of the Europe and America? We don't exist.
But isn't God to be found within?
They're trying to define first the term.
But for every
And I submit it to you that you can write books and theses and whatever you want to do, you cannot define God.
Pure awareness.
You cannot define.
Absolute. Truth.
You cannot define.
Truth. Changeless.
No.
You cannot
The only
define.
way you can see is he's not this, not that, not that.
You cannot define.
I know.
What is cannot be said.
That's true. That's true.
Process of elimination.
Because once the moment you get to the stage where you experience what is, you know more.
That's true.
There's nobody left to come back and say what is. That's why it is being exploited. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, going back some time, we were talking about when the kids ask questions. So, as a parent, what do you say when they ask, why is there so much poverty or famine in Africa?
Yeah. Now, we have tackled those issues in our talks here, and I'll give you a brief one.
Give me a brief.
The life is a drama. It's a play. A play needs positive characters and negative characters to move. The story needs both sides, plus and minus, right and wrong, pleasant and unpleasant, holy and unholy, night and day, poverty and richness. They are part of the drama. They are neither good nor bad. They are neither right nor wrong. They are just part of the drama. So, today, if you go to see a movie, you enjoy a movie where there is a character who represents the positive, there is a character who represents the negative, there is a conflict between the two, and then the positive wins out and we feel good. But if there was no negative and only positive exists, where does story go? Where does it move? There is no story left.
Then they'll say, well, the people in Africa, what would they think?
No, it is the same thing.
Okay.
A part of the world is rich.
You look at it.
A part of the world is not rich. A part of the world is holy. A part of the world is unholy. A part of the world is tyrant taking undue advantage. A part of the world is defending. So you see these opposing forces set up from micro to macro. In a micro world, you can see within your own world, you have a landlord and the who's good, and there is a tenant who's bad, and there is a conflict. You have in the micro level, you see a husband, a boyfriend who's good or a bad, and the wife or the lover is good or bad, and there is a conflict. That's micro scale. Now expand it, there is a country, there is a city, there is a religion, there is a part of the land, there is a planet. What's a planet? Right? They are talking about today, isn't that biggest money being spent extraterrestrial? There should be somebody, and we need to be prepared that they don't come and take over us. We made the movies Independence Day. Right? So what is that? That's planet versus planet. The drama needs opposing forces. At every scale. There is a Hitler born who kills so many, and there is a Teresa born who goes save so many. Right?
So, then, is that true for us too? Remember once we talked about the original sin? Like the ego and the spirit.
So now the question is, the child says, well, what should I do then? What is this all to me? Son, do you like this drama? No, Mom, when I look at those poor people, it hurts. And when I go hungry, it hurts me. And when you get mad and fight with me, it hurts me. So you want to go to a state where there is no hurt. There is a way to get there.
Hey, that's good. Meditate.
It has been done before. Jesus did it. Buddha did it. You can do it.
So does this then go, if you take each one of us, isn't there light and dark? And our dark is the ego. We're supposed to find the light.
I didn't get that. Say it again.
One time when we talked about original sin, you said we needed the negative to move the creation forward, right?
Outward. Outward is a drama. Inward is a no movement. You want to get to the stage where there is absolutely no movement.
But the ego doesn't have...
Ego is a pure movement.
Side?
Ego is a pure movement. When the ego completely drops, you will be at a 0 point. No movement.
So it's not...
Ego is a movement from positive to negative. That's the pendulum.
Either way.
Oh, either way, okay.
It's a positive, right? Pendulum moves from plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. When it stops at the center, is there a movement? All energy is gone. It's completely still. When it's completely still, you are free of both positive and negative.
So ego creates the positive too in us?
Ego travels between past and future. Ego lives in the memory of the past or worry about the future. Ego cannot stay in the moment. So that's why staying in the moment has become a means of meditation. Learn to stay. Come back here. Don't worry. Don't run forward. Don't worry about the past. Stay in the present. Live the day. That has become a means of meditation. What they're trying to do? Stop the movement of the mind. Which is what ego is. Hiding. So use it. Use the ego to kill the ego. And when you try to do that, it's going to revolt. It's going to find the ways to stay alive you wouldn't even know yet.
How What did you say? Kill the ego by fighting with the ego?
Slowly.
How do you do that?
Man hi ko man marsi. Isn't
Use
it?
ego to
Use
kill
the
ego.
ego to kill the ego.
Right? I mean, first you are going to, when we take the first step, when we decide, okay, I want to get to the stage, think of Gautama the Buddha kissing the wife and the child good night and leaving the home. That's the first step. Right? Who's taking the first step? The egotistical Buddha, who says, I am going to find that truth. That's the first step. So the ego has decided. And as it moves, what's happening? It becomes that lump of salt which has taken a jump into the ocean and is going to go deeper and see, did I find the bottom? It's not going to find the bottom. It's going to go again deeper and it's not going to find the bottom.
It dissolves.
And slowly, the ego that took the jump
No more.
disappears into the void. That's why I'm saying, don't fall in the trap of, use that. Let that ego make a choice and say, I'm going to do this. Enough is enough. I'm not going to live in the world of duality anymore. Who's making that statement?
The ego.
That's the ego.
Yeah, I got it.
And as you start bringing it closer and closer, the movement keep on stopping, it keep on getting to the 0 point, keep on getting to the 0 point, it stops. There will be nobody even to say, I want to find something or I already found it. Nobody can come back and say, yeah, I found it. Because that declarer is no more.